Hello, respected students. My name is Albina Bazarbaeva. I'm associate professor in WL University. So I hope that you are safe and sound out there. Today's lecture, we shall discuss the theme which is dedicated to the intonation and its functions in the sentence. I would like to remind you that this is our lecture number 12 in the course of the theoretical English phonetics. So, first of all, I would like to suggest you the plan which I have outbriefed here, and there are, let's say, main points of it. You may see that today we shall observe the intonation definition, key components of intonation, sentence stress, functions of intonation, types of English intonation, and conclusion. So basically, this is a continuation of our previous topic, but exactly in this very certain lecture, I would like to stress your attention on those very definitions, those very terms, the key components of the English sentence whenever we deal with the intonation. You must know about the definitions and of those very main notions. So first of all, the intonation. Let's start with the term intonation. In linguistic, intonation is a variation of pitch when speaking. So in this very sentence, you may see the new word, which is a pitch. But anyway, we have already discussed about it, and I explained you that the pitch is one of the sectors, is one of the those very elements of the intonation which help us to identify the degree of the level of your voice in your sentences, in the way of your communication. Intonation and stress are two main elements of linguistic prosody. This is a real fact, and you cannot just object it, because in every language, in order to address, in order to make the communication meaningful, you are trying to implement those two main basic let's say keywords, such as the intonation and stress. Without intonation and stress, the meaning of the message is unreal. So intonation is a part of the suprasegmental phonology. I would like to remind you that suprasegmental phonology studies all those extraordinary elements which make enrichment of the phonetics, in enrichment of the pronunciation of our basic speaking skills. Intonation helps to recognize the language that you hear in the same way as the melody of a song helps to recognize the song that you hear. So intonation plays a very great role whenever you are just interacting with the different people. They are firstly give attention to the way of your intonation in your speech and making the conclusion of it directly. So key components of intonation, as you may see, there are several components, but some of them I have already exemplified here. It is a pitch, it is a sentence stress, and it is a rhythm. So pitch is a degree of the height of our voice in a speech. You know that there are different types and different level of tones, but normal speaking pitch is at mid level. This is a type, this is a level or a degree of pitch whenever we are just making our speech in a very reserved, in a very calm, peaceful way. We do not just implement or we do not just embed any sorts of the emotions here. Intonation is formed by certain pitch changes characteristics of a given language. So, sentence stress. Sentence stress makes the utterance understandable to the listener by making the important words in a sentence stressed, clear and higher in pitch by shortening and obscuring the unstressed word. Undoubtedly, sentence stress plays a very great, let's say, utmost crucial role in the making the idea in the making the context understandable to the listener, because we live in a very hectic era, and we are trying to economize our precious time, and whenever we are formulating our speech, we try to let's say accent on those very sentence stress, on exactly on those very highlighted words according to which we are trying to reveal the main idea of our message. So, an important feature of the English intonation is the use of the intonational accent and extra stress to mark the focus of a sentence. So, you know that any particular language has its own unique and beautiful accent, and the English language especially. So the functions of the intonation, there are different of them: attitudinal functions, accentual functions, grammatical functions, and discourse functions. Well, students, whenever you are just coming across with some expressions, I mean terminological expressions, pay attention and try to guess the logically that very meaning which is included in them. So attitudinal functions. The word attitudinal comes from the word attitude. It means that someone shows his attitude towards something. It's also linked with the expression of the emotions. So there are a variety of the emotions, and this is why the attitudinal function of intonation is one of the most important factors of showing your let's say participation in something. So accentual functions, when it is said that intonation has accentual function, it implies that placement of stress is somewhat determined by the intonation. Well, uh, while com- while making the sentence, while you are constructing the message, of course, there will be the some words which are the milestones, which are the very important in order to determine, in order to confirm the listener that's a very message you are trying to direct his attention to. And accentual function should be the realistic on those very words important for the main idea of your context. So grammatical functions, nothing happens in our linguistics without grammar, and this is why in any particular language, you know that there are some kind of golden rules for the making the grammatical structure of the sentences, and everyone, the experts of the linguistics, should know about them very perfectly. So, and the discourse functions of the intonation. Once again, students, I would like to note that discourse, this is a type of linguistic which basically deals with the different types of the text. So you are reading different sorts of the literary text, and you know that the author's outlook, author's inner world in the context cannot be just catched while you don't read it till the end. After you read all the context, all the novel or the story, only then you may understand what was the main message, what was the main moral of the author, and what kind of intonation did the author, let's say, implement and add to this very context. And it plays also a very essential role in order to understand the main idea of the context. So types of English intonations, there are two basic types. Among them, you also should remember about our previous lectures patterns when it was concerned the types of English intonation. There are many others, as you may see in the below part of this very slide, but there are two basic types. They are falling intonation and rising intonation in the English sentences. So here in my presentation, I tried to compile different types of the, let's say, examples of the sentences with the and try to clarify those very falling intonation, standard pattern intonation, rising intonation in the English sentences. I hope that you will just take your precious time in order accurately and in order attentively read all these sentences to make your understanding more deep. So you may see this very also table when we have the change of standard patterns. It depends on the source of the emotions you are including in the type of your intonation. So many of you are just selected this very university in order to be the linguists, in order to be the experts of the language. So it means that you should unstoppably continue your development not only in your personality but in your language skills So there I have some kind of recommendations in order to improve not only just your skills in English but improve your intonation, because it really plays a great role whenever you are reporting something to people, because people just listening while listening you, they are paying more attention to the way of your voice, and intonation is one of the key elements of it. So the recommendation are the following: listen for it when native English speakers talk. This is one of the good practices. Students, you should be able to not only just speak English but able to listen to other, especially native speakers, way, manner of the speech. People on TV or in the movie, it helps a lot. It helps a great to improve your intonation. Take a sentence someone has said on a video or audio training and exaggerate the intonation so you notice it more in the beginning. Take a sentence and practice it using different intonation each time. When you play with the mirror, it helps a lot to enhance your different skills in English and intonation as well, because yes, I know that we are just limited in some of the ways of the practicing, some of the way of the training of our English abilities, but anyway, it depends first of all on you, and you should believe in yourself. You should believe in your abilities to demonstrate your best acknowledgement in the English language. So good practice is the perfect way to strengthen, to enable your different skills in English. So let us come to the conclusion. English and Russian intonation, Uzbek intonation, they are absolutely different. All these languages have the falling and rising intonation, but they are not the same. You know it. You may just compare whenever you are talking to someone, whenever you are just examining different sort grammatical structures of the sentences. You may see that intonation is absolutely different. So also I have, let's say, offered here some kind of internet resources. In them you may just find those very helpful and necessary materials to make your understanding of the certain lecture more deep. So, and thank you for your attention, student. Thank you for taking your precious time in order to watch my video. I hope that you will be able to recognize all the main ideas I have, let's say, tried to reveal and tried to observe at today's lecture, which is lecture number 12, the main types of intonation in the English sentences. So, um, once again, if you have any more doubts or hesitations about this very lecture, about some sorts of the key components I have, let's say, research here, you are free anytime to text me your questions, uh, and I'll be very pleased to answer all of them. Thank you very much once again. Have a nice day. Bye.